Alright, so I'm just setting up, as you can tell. Thank you folks for your early purchases. That really helps a lot. So I got room for maybe 2 or 3 more if anyone's interested. Right now I'm just getting things ready with the Astrodoodle, so settle in amongst yourselves, chat amongst yourselves, and then we will check in on the weather for the day. How about that? Not too shabby. So, here we go. Oh, God, excuse me. Wow. Excuse me. Let me just get back with you guys while I finish this off. I still have a lot of fill-ins to do, so please bear with me. Okie dokie. Thank you very much. Sorry about that. Got a sniff, got a sneeze. So, yeah, it's going to go on. I don't know when it's going to stop or start, so if I sneeze, I sneeze, and that's all there is to it. Ah. Super duper. see, here we go. Well, greetings, good evening, good morning, or good day, or good Monday, depending on where you are. I'm just setting things up. Right now we have a temporary situation because of the heat wave, so we've had to improvise a new studio, and we're doing pretty well. The stage is very tiny, but it's just enough to get the information across. We'll have just enough room for the cards, but we probably won't be able to fit your magic post-it notes. I'm so sorry. We'll see. Anyway, let me look through the chat. I just want to say hello. What have we got going on here? Hello, Love Triber. I see you. Thank you. And let's see. Ninja Yucca. I know you. I recognize that name. I can't remember who it is, but I do recognize that name somewhere. And there's Nomadic Ninja. Hello. Again, I can't remember everybody because I have a kind of a goldfish memory, which is actually quite handy sometimes. And what do you mean you just lost your baby boy last Saturday? And now you have a decision to make. What? Okay, you'll have to fill us in a little bit more. Hello, Jeffrey. I see you. Hello, Love Triber. Okay, Gregory, good evening. Oh my gosh, poor Gregory. Oh, man, he must be in a real, like, I don't know how worse off things could be, frankly. So it's pretty gross. As you know, I think we've talked before about these things. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for dropping in. As usual, we have these very tiny, private little boutique events. I really am grateful for you all. I just want to show you. We already have 3 magic post-it notes purchased in advance. One for Tina Miller, one for Gregory Ross, and one for Maria C. Okay? Hello, Maria. I see you. Thank you very much. And there's Path Traveler, too. Good evening. Nomadic Ninja. I live in a van and haven't been here in a while. Wait a minute. We had Van Life. Does the name Van Life mean anything to you? Because a couple of years ago, I remember a fellow, Van Life, and he was an interesting character, and I think his mom was also a Van Lifer too. That was very interesting. We had some quirky, fun conversations. Anyway, yeah, this is the charts for today. So I'm just going to give you a little I'm just going to give my spin on it. Hold on, I got to make sure we've got space here. Okay, let's do this. I'm just shuffling a few things around as we go. So here we are today. Oh, first of all, Christopher. So you changed your screen name. Christopher's van life. So you are Christopher in van. Wow. And if I recall, you are very musical as well. In fact, I do believe I have one of your tunes somewhere. I can't remember where it is, but it's kind of dark and ominous and very kind of theatrical, you know. I remember that. So anyway, yeah, let me just say hi to everybody over here. Let's see if this works. Yes, it's working. Hello, good evening. This is Lumination. Hi, how are you? Thank you for dropping by. And also thank you, Tina and Gregory and Maria, for your early purchases. That's great. So we're already in business. Woo! It's very exciting over here. It's amazing that we're still going at all, quite frankly. So I'm very pleased. Very, very pleased. Okay, let's have a good look. Let me go back over here because I want to talk about the astrology and the astro doodles for the day. Alright, so here we are. Let me get a pen. So, if some of you are familiar with my astro doodles, it's basically what I think of as just a simplified weather chart for the day regarding the sacred geometry of the planets that whiz and whiz around our solar system. We have a tiny little solar system inside a massive galaxy that we call the Milky Way, out of a collection of billions of other galaxies. And so far, despite human best efforts, there is nothing else out there remotely resembling humanity or organic life that we are aware of. You might say, but what about extraterrestrials and ETs and UFOs and all that? What about heaven? What about angels? What about all those other invisible things? Well, we kind of deal with that on this channel because we kind of make an assumption that there is something above and beyond our three-dimensional reality. And I believe in that. What it's actually like is, in my personal impression, because some of you know I've had some experience with mediumship and bits and pieces of random, I would say, psychic, let's say, abilities. So it gives you a vivid awareness that there's this thing that we call time, tick-tock, 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 and which we perceive as having a past and a present and a future. But from a larger perspective, if you are really into quantum physics and things like that, and please don't misunderstand me, I don't know much about it, but everything becomes a massive continuum. It's all beginning just as it's ending. So it's very hard to understand these concepts in our little world. But here we are, planet Earth, and I just use a traditional, basic, westernized pie chart for the astrology. And we put Aries on the horizon, the birth and the brand new day. Okay? So as it stands right now, we have Pluto in Capricorn, Saturn in Aquarius. They're both retrograde. We got Jupiter in Pisces and Neptune in Pisces, both just about to turn retrograde. You're already feeling it, I guarantee, even though you don't know it. Poor little Chiron over here, not suffering quite so much as usual. Uranus, of course, as we know, is in really tough angles with Saturn. Mercury's retrograde, but it's going to flip back direct very soon, so we're at that point of station right now. We have the North Node here in Gemini. So some of you might have noticed the Gemini-Sagittarius axis is very closely aligned with the United States identity, 4th of July 1776. It's also very closely aligned with a fellow called Donald. He has a very prominent Gemini-Sagittarius axis with the North Node as well. So it's no coincidence that this fellow Donald is back in the news again. And no matter how the what do they call it? The mass media, there's another word for it. No matter how much they try to, distract us and tell us what they think is going on, there are other things that are going on which we would call factual. And so we'll come to that in a minute. But Sun is over here at the 0 point. It's going to be turning very close into Cancer in the next few days. It's hovering at the tippy end of Gemini. That's over here. Venus is being all cozy and comfy in Cancer right now, all wrapped up and safe at home and protected, no matter what goes on outside. Some people think Venus in Cancer is a little odd, but I I actually think it's a nice placement to have that. And we have feisty Mars now firmly established in Leo. And then we have the moon in Scorpio. So in my little charts, I've put a very loose grand trine here. The real trine is probably tomorrow, when the moon is going to be about here. But when you have a grand trine like this, it can be very comforting, especially with the water signs. You would feel that as some kind of sort of warm and fuzzy feeling, like maybe things aren't quite so bad with the rest of the world as we have been led to believe, or as we have been experiencing recently. This is just a little moment of sweetness and comfort we can all enjoy. This affects everybody on Earth, so you might as well take full advantage of it, because it's not going to be around for more than 36 hours. So, let's have a look at the red lines, the tricky stuff. Alright. Okay. So, yeah. This is a fleeting problem over here. The moon is zooming through Scorpio. It's going to get a very hard tight angle like it is right now. Mars hard squared to the moon. So there might be some repressed hostilities, like that kind of fear energy that you feel when you know there's something dangerous going on out there, but you don't know what it is. You just feel it in your body, and it feels very deep. It might be like, somebody having bad dreams, or getting scared about the news, or the climate, or the politics, or the economy, or whatever it is. It's a very fearful alignment. It will pass away a little fairly soon. While we're on Mars in Leo, as you can tell, inevitably over the next few weeks, or probably the next month or two, Mars is eventually going to go into a hard opposition with Saturn in Aquarius, okay? That's going to be a pretty bumpy experience, so plan ahead, plan accordingly. Mars really wants to take charge and do what has to be done in terms of self-satisfying creativity, and doing what's sort of like spontaneous, just going and doing what has to be done without apologizing, and in a way that might appear self-serving, while Saturn in Aquarius is saying, hold on a minute, Mars, you can't just do whatever you want to do just because you think you're so awesome. You have to take account of the rest of humanity, the rest of society, the rest of the community. What happens if you do things that are not appropriate for the community? Huh? What about that? So that's going to be very uncomfortable for a lot of people. I'm thinking it's more to do with politics and global finances, and a lot of posturing and aggression being demonstrated between the United States and China. China. It's a scary word to use on a YouTube channel these days, but I said it, so I can't unsay it. It's China. The United States has a very powerful Leo-Aquarius axis. China has a very powerful Leo-Aquarius axis. So my feeling is that over the next few months, during the Jupiter Pisces retrogrades, we're going to see increased hostilities and instabilities and volatility in world economics and politics as China and USA start facing off against each other. It's sort of like, how prize fighters, do a lot of warm-ups. They're getting ready for the big fight, and they're kind of like, doing all their pumping, and they got their robes on, and they got their trainer. They're doing, and then they're taking a glance across the ring at their future opponent, and they're kind of going like, that kind of stuff. And then the other party's doing exactly the same thing, like, right. It's that kind of vibe. That's what I'm sensing with the China, America polarity going on. So let me get back over here. This is kind of awkward and uncomfortable. Again, I think this is going to really affect the United States. Venus is hovering over here in Cancer. It's a very sensitive part of the United States identity, okay? And it's going to be in direct opposition very soon to Pluto in Capricorn, retrograde 26 degrees. So again, I think what we might see is a lot of discomfort in the United States as the mass media, whatever they call it, the big conglomerates of media, as they try to tell a story to the masses of American people and from there to the rest of the world, that things are happening in a certain way in the United States, when in fact it's a load of BS. There's more and more, let's say, reveal it to heal it coming up over the rest of this year, and it's going to be very, very hard for the mass media to suppress the storylines and the information and twist it around to make it look like things are just wonderful. This is very uncomfortable for the United States. This too shall pass. This, as you know, is the ongoing... Actually, you know what? I should put that other red thing in here because it still exists. Give me a moment. Where did I put all my crayons here? We're still dealing with a long-term, lingering, loose square with this energy, okay? Which is very much to do with fraud, theft, lies, betrayal, deception, being more and more and more and more and more exposed on the global arena. The angles are not exact, but it's enough to keep me very uncomfortable with what's going on in global propaganda and the global news. So I recently subscribed to a news source that I think is more trustworthy than others, and it's really helping me to deal with the bizarre falsehoods that I'm sensing around me, which I relate to all of this and this. This one, as you know, is my interpretation about the global financial system coming unraveled in such a way that the status quo and all the big wigs up at the very, very top are realizing that their empires are under serious threat from honest, genuine money and people who want a financial order that works for humanity, not just for several empires, okay? So this is going to be an ongoing thing. It's going to actually drag on for, I think, about 25 years before it stabilizes. So if you're not aware now, please be aware. Please start taking note of the global financial system and how is that going to impact you personally and directly. I love doing personal readings on these things, so if anyone's interested, of course you know what to do. Go to tarotlumination.com. You can figure it out from there. Alright. I'll leave it at that. I just wanted to give a kind of neutral description of my opinions on this. Enjoy the green fat grand trine while you can. A little bit later, tomorrow I think, or later in the week, we're going to have a beautiful big fat kite, which is going to incorporate this grand trine and this opposition here. So we'll see if I get that on the channel. I don't know. We'll see. Okay. Blah. I see some of your notes. Hello, Path. Thank you for hanging out. Let's have a look. I just got to go over here for a second. Hello, Tina. Thank you. Don't worry, I got you. Watch. Look. There you are. And there's Gregory, and there's Maria. Okay, the stage is very tiny, but we can do this. All right? Do not fear. All right, I just want to hang out with folks for a bit. Hold on. Greetings. Hello. So that's very interesting. Thank you, Christopher from Van Life. Thanks for coming back and visiting. And how are you coping with this heat in the van conditions? It must be terrible. Are you somewhere up in a cool zone, up in Montana or something, or I don't know, North Dakota? Because over here in Las Vegas, it's about 115, It's dropped, actually it just dropped down to about 113. So I wouldn't be, I'm too scared to ride my bicycle. I ride across a car park, and when you go across a car park, there's a lot of radiant heat that comes up from the black tar, and so that turns the weather from 115 degrees into about 122 degrees, and you can feel your skin burning. So it's really dangerous. You can just feel yourself dehydrating by the second. You don't sweat, because the moment you sweat, it already vaporizes. It's a very weird experience. Oh, you're in New Mexico and it's 104. Man, okay, 104, that's hot. Okay? That's hot. Man, I hope you're finding ways to chill, cool, some way, somehow. Hanging out in public places or something, nice parks or something where you can get some shade. Yeah. $200. Oh yeah, I get it. Yeah, they make some of these really powerful, neat, compact air conditioners. Yeah. What is that, Path Traveler, about Muhammad Ali? The museum here in Louisville? I don't know what that is. Please explain. Yeah. Love Driver says there's nothing bad happening in the world if your head is in the sand. Yeah. I don't know what's going on. I didn't see anything. I didn't hear anything. I didn't say anything. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Good luck with that. Okay. Alright, who else is there? I think I said hello. Nomadic Ninja, Love Driver, Path. I float like a butterfly, but I sting like a bee. Oh, I get it. Yeah. Ivona, I said hello, I think, earlier. Maria, hello. Gotcha. Gregory, I know you're in hospital. Oh my God, man. And yeah, so let me go back over here. Thanks. I'm just trying to check in, see what's going on. Okay, so excuse me. You know, when you sneeze, sometimes you get itchy eyes. I don't normally have allergies, but there's so many weird things going on in the climate these days. It's affecting my breathing and my eyes and all things like that. So I have to take some of those pink, antihistamine pills now and again. They do help. There it is. I see that. I float like a butterfly, but I sting like a bee. Oh, so you're referring to my boxing warm-up analogy before the big fight. Like, you know, how like sumo wrestlers do a lot of posturing, and then there's a lot of news media for the big build-up, and then the actual fight only takes like 15 or 20 minutes. Baff, baff, baff. Oh, you know what? I was having a beer last night out in a tiny little public park way up in the lowlands of Sunrise Mountain, and I was chatting with Love Triber about the crazy events going on in the world. It was a beautiful sunset. You could see the Las Vegas basin, this massive, like, sprawling landscape surrounded by mountains that looked black against the orange shadow and the orange sunrise in the background, and these dazzling weird clouds getting all lit up. Mostly I was just focused on the beer. And so we were chatting away, but just before we sat down, Love Triber noticed that there were two fellas sitting at the other end of the table, and they were doing all this like boxing, like prep warm-up work. And Love Triber, being who she is, she could not resist to find out what was going on. So she did. And it turns out these guys are prize fighters in training. They grab any moment they can. They go off in the, to parks and gymnasiums, and they do training. Diet. Training. Practice. And so apparently he's going over to Miami with his trainer. They're going to do some prize fighting over there. And the booty, the sack, is somewhere about $1 million for the winner. And this guy, I mean, I'm about 5'11", and this fellow was about 5'4", He was very stocky, obviously very strong, so I wouldn't want to get on the wrong side of him, but yeah, they were really sweet guys. Yeah. 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 Oh yeah, there was a fire next door last night, people. I think it was. Some people think it was caused by fireworks. Some people think it was arson. Some people think it was an accident, and some that it went very badly wrong, and just the neighbor's house just kind of exploded on the side wall by all the utility sections, and the flames just it was instantaneous. Of course, Love Triber came to the rescue and dialed 911. And within moments, these dazzling bright yellow fire engines showed up and took care of everything. Okay. It was pretty spectacular, and I found some evidence indicating fireworks. These big, massive canisters that the neighbors like to use for illegal fireworks that are imported from south of the border. They're very dangerous in the wrong hands, as everybody found out last night. Wow. Okay, and Gregory. Gregory, are you able to type? Are you watching the show on your phone, or how is this working? Do you have a little laptop or a tablet or something? How, if you're in the ICU with the CCP bug, how are you coping? Are you on a lot of medications? Or are you getting like 24/7 checkups? Or how's that working out for you? I'll just stay here with the chat for a little bit because I'd love to know. I mean, to be in an ICU for a bug, that's pretty bad. I know I had a bug. I think it was the CCP bug. And I know a couple other people who had these really bad sicknesses. And I'm fine now. I've been around people who've had it, and I wasn't affected at all. And I will confess to you live right now, I do not have any injections. I didn't take any. I'm not rushing out to get any. Yeah. So I just confessed online that I have not taken any injections. I don't believe in them anyway. There are so many really unwanted, bad stories coming out with all of this stuff that I don't want any part of it. So I'm lucky I'm in a position in life where I don't actually have to have any part of it. Who knows what'll happen down the road. Hey, hey Gregory, can you type in if you were able to? Let us know how you're doing. Are you on the end stages? Do you expect to be out in the next day or so, or did you just get there? Can you breathe? What's your blood pressure and things like that? Yeah. Yeah. Yes, Love Triber's got a point for you, Ninja. Libraries. If you can find a local library, there's a wonderful local library down the street here, and I go and hang out there every day. It's my sort of little treat to myself. It's a really nice library, spacious and well maintained and cool and comfortable. Oh. So you don't have to out yourselves on this channel if you don't want to. Some people are very confidential about their injections or not. I've had so many near-death experiences, I kind of don't care anymore. I've always considered myself bulletproof, and in many ways my life is evidence of being bulletproof. But the reality is, you get to my point in life where you realize I don't want to keep living like that. So I've kind of like really backed off. I've learned how to really temper my energy and dial my energy down so I don't get into a lot of trouble at all, or at least not too quickly. I'm much more careful now, much more responsible. Man. Hey, you know what they say, Ninja, about Walmart parking lots? Maybe maybe you can Google something on a map. I can't save you, Ninja. I can't. I mean, everyone's dealing with their own issues right now, but there's people who are making some suggestions that, okay, Gregory is getting great health care. Excellent. Are you still over in St. Augustine, Florida, or have you been continuing with your adventures and travels? Okay. So, all right. All right, let me do a little bit of promotion and advertising. We've got 3 readings already lined up. Okay? I have this little constant contact email bulletin that I can send out every week if I remember. And a few people responded. So we've already got a reading lined up for Gregory Ross, Tina Miller, and Maria. Okay? So I've got room for maybe 2 more. Okay? So if there's anyone out there who's never done this before and you're just stumbled on the channel and it's just something to do, like, that's weird. I've heard about that tarot. I've heard about that astrology stuff. That's black magic. That's hocus pocus. It's all make believe. They're running a cult. It's the work of the devil. Ugh. It's not. That's not at all. It's something very loving, very benevolent, and sometimes it's very healing and very helpful. So if anyone's out there, you're a little bit shy, you've never done this before, and you want to dip your toe in and find out what happens, you can get your own live mini reading here tonight. It's by donation. Several ways to donate. Let me show you. Well, I'll tell you first. You can go to tarotlumination.com on your phone or whatever, and you go to the donate page, send it over, and I will see it. It will come in here. I will find it. You can also send PayPal. If you have your own PayPal account, you can send it to my email, which is alittlebookabout@yahoo.com. Spelled just like it sounds. alittlebookabout@yahoo.com. Or if you don't have PayPal but you still want to donate, you can go to the tarotlumination.com donate page. I'll show you. Hold on. You go to tarotlumination.com, you find the donate page, and it comes up with an orange button, donate. You click the button, takes you to a payment processor, which is basically identical to Super Chat. You swipe your card there, you put $10, $50, $100, $1,000, $1 million in, and you get a reading. There you go. Also, what was the other one? Oh yeah, Super Chat. Yeah. There's also the Super Chat option. That is where you kind of type in. It's a button just below where you type in, and then it comes up with a Super Chat, and you can swipe a card through the Super Chat processor. Thing about Super Chat, of course, it takes about 30% of your money, and the rest goes to me. So it's a bit of a hit there. But anyway, I'm very grateful that any of us are here at all. I'm going to take this away. We will be referring to this down the road when we actually get into the readings. Now, okay, we've got Gregory. I'm not going to have much room for these on the stage because we're going to use the whole stage just for the cards. But please note that we have Gregory, Ross, Maria, and we've got Tina Miller lined up already. So I'm going to tuck these over to the side. And I'm going to start with the first one in, who I believe was Maria. Let's just put that up here. Actually, I'll tuck it over here. This should work. I hope you can see that. You should be able to. Then we're going to pull up some new fresh cards right here. I'm using the Universal Golden tonight, just for a little bit of variety. I know it's a little bit like, I just do the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over. But my little situational spread is tried, tested, and true. If people really want to get deep into the tarot, you'd have to book a personal reading, and I use different spreads. I have my, basically my heart spirit journey spread, and I have the relationship spread. I call it the crucible. Okay, and along with the situational spread, those are really the only spreads that I use. They're all custom built by myself after years of work, and I've done thousands of readings for people all over the world, just in case you want something. I can't prove it, but that's what I have done. So for now, we're just going to use, for fun tonight, this is like I mean, honestly, the little situational spread does a tremendous amount of work on its own. I think it's very much, to me, it's like the first stop for everything. It's like when you go into a car mechanic, auto mechanic, and you're complaining about problems. The first thing they do is plug you into their diagnostic machines, because you got to reveal it to heal it. There you go. All right, Maria, you are up. We're going to keep doing the readings. They take a bit of time, so we got 3 readings. In the meantime, I will check in every now and again to see if anyone else put something in the super chat or the PayPals or something like that, and you will get your own post-it note. Okay. First of all, hold on. Cheers, everybody. I want to say a personal thank you for all your support over the years. As you know, this channel is a really important part of my life, and I'm keeping it going against all odds, simply because I feel a connection with you. I love having these relationships with you, and it gives me a sense of person. Hello, who's that? Linda Devine. Hello, Linda Devine. You never did one on a Sunday. Okay. Hello, Atlanta, Georgia. Wait a minute. Didn't Atlanta, Georgia, you showed up once before, didn't you? Linda Devine. I have a feeling you showed up once before as well, but you never did one on Sunday. Listen. Okay, I can take 2 more. That's what I'm trying. That's the hint that I was trying to drop. I can handle 2 more readings tonight. So Atlanta or Linda, if either of you are up front, just go through the processes, and we'll figure it out as we go. And we'll put you in. You'll be number 4 or number 5, something like that. But anyway, let's get on with it. Maria, you are up. Cheers, good evening. And I saw from your notes that you'd like a blind reading. Excellent. That gives me a wide open palette on which I can basically, pick up anything and everything. Okay, I got to put this over here somewhere safe. I'm looking for a safe zone. There we go. I got it. All right, let's get to work, people. Got stuff to do, places to go, people to see. All right, so Maria. Maria, as all of us know, you are one of these super intelligent, very astute human beings, to the point where it actually becomes a problem. It actually sets you apart from the masses, to the point where the masses in general could almost sense you as a threat. We've already talked about this and worked on this, but let's grow beyond this. Let's look to a wider, bigger picture. Okay? We had a few other people on the channel like that. Fritterly is a little bit like that. And there's a few others here who have those super powered brains, and it's almost like, what are you supposed to do with that much brain power? Mensa. Who was it who was a Mensa? Do you remember Ubasti's Purr? I think she was one of those Mensa types as well, and she was a pet psychic. I haven't seen her in a long time. We've had a lot of very interesting people who've shown up over the years. They come and go, it's just a little YouTube channel, so people come and go. There's millions of channels now, so I'm glad to have any guests and visitors and views at all. All right, Maria, let's see what's going on. Atlanta, Georgia. Okay. Oh, I heard about the big floods and storms and everything going on back east. I think going up through Mississippi, Louisiana or something, and heading towards Georgia or past Georgia now. All right, anyway. All right, Maria, here we are. Very nicely shuffled. We're already pre-shuffled into the box. And I just like to do it live in front of people so that they are a witness to the shuffling, okay? All right, so let's bless this deck, the whole deck, every single card. Let's bless the technology, the cameras and the lights and the staging and the microphones, the amazing softwares that allow us to do this, the amazing platforms that allow us to do this, the digital online invisible world of payment processing that allows us to do this. It's freaking mind-boggling to me. All right, here we go. Cards are very well shuffled. Uh-oh, blue alert, blue alert, blue alert, blue alert. Post it, post it, post it, post it. Okay, stage. Hold yourself steady now. Give me a second. I dropped a whole bunch of stuff on the floor. I have to go and retrieve it without destroying the stage and the studio. Got it. Well done, TL. All right. Atlanta, Georgia. Here you go. You're going to get your own post-it note. There you go. Alrighty. So this is going to go up here. I hope you're patient because you're going to have to be here for a while. We've got 3 folks in front of you. I'm going to tuck this over here. Alright, Maria, we're up. We are up and running and ready to go. Cards are shuffled. We did the blessing. Let's cut it up. It's amazing because the whole thing about tarot is this complete surrender and trust into energy fields that are beyond logic. Completely beyond logic. It doesn't matter how advanced you are with quantum computers and artificial intelligence and robots. You can't do tarot with any of that stuff. Tarot and astrology is way beyond that stuff. Okay, so just have to accept it, that it is what it is. All right, here we go. Here's the situation. Here's the challenges. Here's how we're going to handle it. And I'm going to tuck this way over here so we have some room. And then we're going to look at the weather for you, Maria. Again, this is, you know, I love to blame the planets for everything, so here we go. We've got the tower. Whoa! Whoa! Okay, here's Maria. As you know, the beauty of the tower is staggering because it is in some ways the most powerful healing card there is in the deck. It's almost like it basically, you're in a situation now. I look at this as an amazing opportunity for total obliteration of anything and everything that does not serve you. And so that the goodness and the good like the healing and the growth and the evolution that you do deserve has a chance to actually manifest in your life. But obviously, as you can see from this, it's not possible without going through a catharsis, something like this, as represented by the tower. I mean, look at that. Look at that. I think this is very much to do with Uranian energy, you know, spontaneous lightning bolts and highly unpredictable shock. And this, you know, I'm just thinking about the fire next door last night. It was just like this, okay? So, there you go. Look at those characters. It's almost like they not only jumped, but they jumped downwards and threw themselves out as far and fast away as possible. There you go. So, remember, this is not you, okay? Okay? Maria, this is not you. This is just surrounding energies, cataclysmic events, alignments perhaps with the planets, however you want to look at it. For example, there's a lot of pent-up hostility here. There's a lot of hostility here. There's a tremendous amount of hostility here, especially with the Aquarius, Uranus themes going on. Shocking disruptions of the status quo. Saturn is demanding that the status quo be changed and altered and disrupted and shaken apart until the status quo better serves humanity instead of a few small empires, a few small self-serving empires. And of course it pertains to money as well, global money. So this could be to do with, okay, I'm not going to dwell on that. Sorry, Maria, I'm just going to keep going. Give me a second. Cheers, Maria. Now, I don't know why I'm so excited and thrilled to see this for you, because I see this as wonderful. I see this tower as like a chance for, like, bring it on. This is going to be amazing. It's like you want to go totally ballistic. Watch this. This could also be an indication of you taking advantage of a tower moment in the chronology of your life, so that it's like I don't want to get really indulgent on this, but it's almost like, you know what? You want to go for it? Okay. Bring it on. Come on. Come on. Come on. We're going to do this. Let's do this. The timing is perfect. The staging is perfect. It's a tremendous... This also, I think, might relate closely. I think it's going to happen with every reading tonight here, with the impending retrogrades of Jupiter and Neptune. They're coming right now, so that's going to be like having to go back into a hospital and get re-diagnosed, retested for problems and issues that have not been properly diagnosed up to this point. And that happens very frequently in healthcare issues, okay? This reading is not necessarily about healthcare. It's about, to me, it's about going, this is a great opportunity to literally blow up the status quo and then kind of like do an archaeological dig and find out what is real, what is true and around, and that has value, sustainability for you. Extract that like a miner and then go forward from there. Okay? Let's have a look at the situation itself. Emperor. Okay, so I see two sides to the story here. Let's have a look at this image of the Emperor. Have a look. What a fellow. Now, the Emperor is not the kind of energy you mess around with, okay? The Emperor is literally all-powerful. Look at that imposing energy. And look how comfortable and relaxed that energy is. However, understand that that energy, like the energy radiated by the Emperor card, is the energy of total command and control. Knowing that you have total command and control, knowing that you have to take total command and control of a situation, and that the beautiful thing about the Emperor is that Emperor energy, when it's expressed in a healthy way, it's the most powerful, benevolent energy there is. Imagine being born in an ancient civilization with a benevolent leader, dictator, ruler, king. And they just happen to be a nice person, and they care about their community and their towns, their villages, and their country. And so they're very generous with their energy, like a very powerful, strong Leo energy, for example, that they bestow on the people. However, that same energy, when it's expressed, let's say, negatively, is the energy of the totalitarian dictator, the abusive monster. Okay? So my feeling is that you're seeing two sides of a story here. Okay? These are two very powerful cards back to back. So Maria, it feels to me like the situation is that you are now realizing that you are going to have to carry yourself as Emperor energy. It is very masculine, but that is very warlike, and it might be very appropriate for you right now to become very warlike, because the Emperor energy will stop at nothing to maintain dominion. They will savage and ruthlessly obliterate any enemy in order to protect themselves and their community and their empire. Okay? So that's two sides of a story. We talked earlier about this. So in order for you to face off against evil dictators and manipulators and monsters, you are going to have to become that person yourself, but with the positive expression. This is the expression of an indefeatable warlord who will do whatever has to be done to completely destroy the enemy. And there's no apologies, okay? So I'm encouraged by this. What's the challenges here? Okay, so you might be feeling deep down like, is this even remotely humanly possible? Am I deluded? Am I fooling myself? Am I being fooled by other people? Is this tarot reading fooling me into believing that I can be so self-confident and so capable that I can actually deal with my situation by recognizing the enemy and realizing that for me, Maria, to prevail, I have to become more powerful and more capable than the enemy? It's like, that's insanity. I, Maria, I am a sweet, intelligent, hardworking, caring being. Okay? I am guided, I am protected. I have connections with the great beyond. I am a highly spiritual person, and I am capable of receiving divine information, messages, direction from the great beyond, from heaven, from the will of heaven. However, this could express extreme doubt of your abilities and your selfhood. Like, it's beyond fear. To me, this feels like the problem is that the situation that you're dealing with is so serious, so potentially bad for you, so dire, that the concept and the notion of it is not working would trigger insanity if you failed. In other words, if you fail, oh my God, I will literally go berserk. I will go insane. I will lose my marbles, and I will lose all faith and trust in myself and humanity and the laws of the land. So that's understandable, okay? Because this looks like a very extreme situation here that we're dealing with. Also, with the Seven of Cups here, you might be going through a period of thinking that, wow, am I really guided? Am I really protected? Are there any spirit guides out there really for me? Or am I really just a three-dimensional expendable blob on planet Earth, and when I'm gone, I'm gone? Oh no, oh no, oh no. Does heaven exist? Do angels exist? Does divine guidance exist? It's a very disturbing thought. But I'd like to assure you that divine guidance is real and it does exist, even though you might feel totally forsaken at this moment in time. So how are we going to deal with this? Okay, let's have a look. Oh yeah, I like it. So we have the Knight of Swords here. This is the energy of raw truth and justice taken to the highest levels possible, taken to the courts. This is war. This is making a decision that the only way to deal with the situation is to take advantage of the situation. Know your enemy. Understand that your enemy is very powerful. And sometimes these very powerful types of enemies when you study the enemy and you learn the enemy and you get yourself very, very close to the enemy, then you can discover that one trigger spot where if you pull that fuse right there, then it completely destroys the power of the enemy. But to get there, to get to that point, is going to require incredible courage, okay? Incredible resolve, incredible trust in universal laws, universal truth, such that you are not subject to subjective laws, subjective truth, man-made laws, man-made truths that serve corrupt leaders. You are here to destroy all that. And the way to go forward is to literally become an absolutely ruthless, savage warrior through the word and the pen. Okay? It can be done. Think of the legal system. Think of lawyers. They do their work through pen and paper, through spoken word, through written word. It's all done according to law. And there are subjective, man-made laws, and there is universal law and universal truth. And you will prevail when you make it your mission to align with universal laws, universal truth, and remind yourself that you are indestructible. Even though you might be very frightened, even though you might be terrified that, what if this goes wrong? If this goes wrong, I could end up so damaged and so broken, it would destroy my faith in God, heaven, guardian angels, archangels, spirit guides, invisible friends. All of that beauty and wonder would disappear. So that's not going to happen, okay, Maria? The reason it's not going to happen is because you're going to do what you have to do. Okay? Okay? This is fearsome energy, and it is a mannerism and a behavior that you're going to have to adopt. You're going to have to put yourself into this character, into this identity, to do what has to be done. It's almost like acting. Okay? Do the homework. Make sure you know exactly where you stand with the words, the law, the truth, with justice, with facts, with information, with communications, addresses, names, phone numbers, emails, everything done with supreme order. And it's all done in a highly strategic manner that is designed to completely destroy the enemy and for you to prevail through the facilities of universal truth. That's it. There you go, Maria. Sorry, it's very cramped here, so things get a bit wobbly, but there you go. I hope that helps you. To me, I would say the takeaway is that just remind yourself that you have the ability to prevail here. But it does mean war. Absolute war. Okay? Thank you, Maria. Okay, I'm going to shuffle this off and tuck it away over here. And then we're going to go on to Gregory. Gregory, you're up next. So I hope you are conscious enough to enjoy your reading live. If you're in bed and you're being well taken care of and you have to rest, do that. You can see this on the action replay, so don't worry. I got to shuffle this all up. Before I do that, I need a beverage. This one is empty, so I'm going to move on. Stay there. Don't go away, folks. It's right here. Oh, boy, oh boy. I love doing these readings. I had a really good reading with a private client over the last couple of days. Covered a lot of territory. And I'm very proud to say I got one of my typical responses after they had received their reading and gone through it. The typical response is like this. I'm showing off now. This is the typical response. Like they open their files and they go through their reading, and at the end they kind of go, wow, whoa. Okay, that's normal for me. I'm very proud of that. I'm very proud of that. Let's see over here. All right, Mr. Ross. Here we go. Cheers, everybody. All right, my God. So, yeah, Gregory, one of the things is that we do know that this CHINA virus bug thing is real. I am one of the people. Hold on, Gregory. I'm gonna get really personal here now. What have I got to lose anyway? I mean, my channel is already marked. It's already blacklisted. And every now and again, they just shut down my shows right in the middle. I just hope the internet stays connected tonight. If for some reason the internet just crashes here, because it does crash frequently, please allow for that. Don't go away. I will reboot as fast as humanly possible. Anyway, now I got distracted. What was I going to say? So yeah, Gregory. I had a really, really bad sickness around November 2019. Okay? And I know another person who had something really bad a bit earlier. And it sounds now, looking back, and it feels now, looking back, like the CHINA bug. It was absolutely horrific, and I too ended up in a hospital. And I got treated, and I recovered, and I'm doing really well now. But that was, over a year ago. And I've run into people who've had it. I didn't get reinfected or anything. I don't wear a mask anywhere if I don't have to, but I still wear a mask because a lot of places still say, no mask, no service. Anyway, some people are very, very proud of having had their injections. That's great. That's your choice. But you might have noticed in the mass media that there's a lot of squabbling going on between all these so-called authorities and bosses and leaders who are trying to convince you and command you and force you by dictate that you have to get your injection. If you don't get your injection, you are harming society. You are potentially infecting other people. And you're very, very selfish and mean if you don't get your injection. So we're going to make you prove that you've had your injection. Okay, that's fine. But you seem to have forgotten that we have this thing in the United States called the Constitution. Okay, we have freedom of rights, choice. Of course, it's under a lot of pressure. As you know right now, if you've been watching this channel for the last couple of years, we do know that the United States and its very core operating system is under extreme pressure. It's being systematically attempted to be destroyed by people who do not like America. And the one beautiful thing that we have that nowhere else has, our Constitution. We're still here, people. We're still here. Got it? So, yeah. Gregory, I would say wear this as a badge of honor. Like, I got the bug, man. I had the bug. I'm telling myself I had the bug, and I'm alive to tell the tale. Some people didn't live. It's a really bad bug. As you know, it's a man-made bug. I'm one of those people who believe it is totally manufactured. It was designed as a bioweapon of mass destruction. And the makers and the people who are using it for mass destruction are starting to realize, wow, we've really failed. We really suck. Path Traveler knows a lot about this. Love Triber knows a lot about this stuff. Frankly, from what I can tell, the folks, the elites, the ELITES, who want to basically take complete command and control of planet Earth, really truly believe that they could do it with this bug. And they did everything in their power to make this a superbug. And I really truly believe that their expectations were that humanity was going to be culled by about 5 to 5.5 billion people were going to die from this bug. And they would be left with a nice comfortable number of about 1.5, maybe 2 billion people, which is how things were about 120 years ago, 130 years ago. You know, there was plenty of space, plenty of resources for everybody, but now there's too many people on the farm that we call planet Earth, and the people who own and run the farm, the elites, have decided we have to cull the herd. And so they thought, well, how are we going to do this without actually going around slaughtering everybody with guns and rifles and bombs and poison? Oh, we're going to create a bioweapon. Woohoo! And we're going to create this story that it just sort of happened. Oh no! Well, we have to inject you. We're going to stick you with your digital barcodes and we're going to track you, blah, blah, blah. And it's going really badly wrong. There are protests all over the world, all over Europe, Central and South America, Africa, Southeast Asia. They're basically starting to say, you know what? This is a load of BS. This is all BS. And of course, we can prove that with the astrology. But inside the United States, as you know, the United States is a very insulated culture. It's very Cancerian. They like to stay home, even though we have affected the whole world. In some ways, we are very insulated, psychologically, emotionally, by the mass media. And things are so bad that even the mass media are struggling to cover up the fraud. It's that bad. So they're creating the most bizarre stories to explain the fraud and to explain how and why that you have to keep taking your injections and the bug is just going to get worse and worse and worse and worse. So long as we can get back into our labs and make another bug that's 10 times worse than the bug we just had, we screwed up. I'm sorry. We screwed up. We only slaughtered a few, million people. The whole plan was to slaughter billions. It went wrong. Sorry about that. Anyway, if you're still alive, you need to get your injection. Okay? Because that's a way that we can get you. All right, anyway, so I got onto a rant. Sorry about that. Gregory, let's do it, okay? I hope you're comfortable enough in the ICU and you're getting your excellent health care and you can actually enjoy this reading live. I see your name on the screen, so even though you are sick as a dog, you're still conscious. Yay! Gregory Ross is conscious. That's a good thing. All right, let's see what's going on here. Sometimes it's nice to have a rant like that because it just completely blows out all the cobwebs, you know? All right, let's have a look. All right, Gregory, you know the routine. We're going to use the situational spread. We're going to check the weather. We're going to find and look for any way that we can blame it on the planets, okay? So bear with me, settle back, relax, enjoy the ICU as best as you can. Understand that our hearts are with you and you're going to be just fine. You're going to have the badge of honor. I got the bug and I survived. Just like me, TL. Just like a couple of others out there, okay? So you're in good company, Gregory. Let's have a look here. What's going on? E-Cat. Hello, E-Cat. Haven't seen you in a while. Thanks for dropping by. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 more readings to do, E-Cat. So if you want a reading, it's probably not going to happen tonight. But you could always book something private if you wanted to. Go to terralumination.com. Go to terralumination.com. Get your reading today. Discounted from $1,000 down to a reasonable 2-digit number. I was trying to sound like one of those car dealership TV commercials. No money down. 10 years to pay. Come on down. Oops, I don't do those. But since it happened, I'll just let you know, Gregory, that you're going to be just fine. The card told me so. Ha ha ha. The tarot cards told me to tell you that you're going to be just fine. You are healing, you are healed. Ha 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 ha. That bug's not going to get you. Oh boy, here we go. Here we go. Just give me a little bit more. Hold on, I need just a little bit more. Thank you, Gregory, for your patience. All right, that's good. Lovely, lovely, lovely. All right, let's have a look. Actually, 3 path. After Gregory, I have Tina, and then I have Maria, and then I have Atlanta. I probably can't handle any more after that. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll see how we go. Remember, I used to have the stamina. We'd go for 4.5 hours, and I'd do lots of little... Anyway, it's just like... I can't do that anymore. I just don't have it. Cards are very well shuffled. Excuse me, another... Don't look, don't look. Don't look, don't read anything into that. All right, Gregory, hold on. Sorry, I got to shuffle again now. All right, let's have a look here. We're going to do a blind reading. Of course. Thank you. Here's the situation. Here's the challenges. Here's how we're going to handle it. And let's have a look at the weather for you. We've got the star. Oh, this is beautiful. Gregory, like I said, you're going to be just fine. Literally, this is a card where the powerful message is you are guided. You are protected. There is hope. It's got an Aquarian theme, you know, that energy of the water bearer. Someone's got to do it. Water is the essence of life on here on planet Earth. And people are starting to realize, my God, it sounds so simple, but it's true. Without clear, pure water, we die. We fade slowly or we die quickly. So someone has to keep it all flowing. And in some ways it's a bit of a thankless task, but it is very much an Aquarian theme about doing what works for humanity. So my feeling is that, Gregory, there's a lot of this in you already. You have a very strong egalitarian streak inside of you where you symbolize hope for others that do not have hope, who are beyond hope. You've helped out a lot of people who would normally be considered or viewed as hopeless, or they would view themselves as hopeless. And yet, here you come, you arrive, you bring in the refreshments. It's just like arriving at a FEMA camp or a little volunteer center, and you bring a 12-pack of bottled water, and you hand it out to everybody. And it sounds very modest, but when you're in one of those emergency situations, okay, Gregory, this is the kind of storyline that I'm trying to create here for you. When you're in that situation, I don't know if you've ever been in dire emergency situations where you've lost your home to floods, fires, hurricanes, earthquakes, tornadoes, but it can happen. And One minute there was your world, and the next minute it's all gone. And there's no refrigerator, there's no computer, there's no electricity, there's no food, there's nothing. And then somebody comes into the FEMA camp or the tent or the local triage unit, and they bring in a 12-pack of water. It's like Jesus just arrived or something, so that you can get one bottle of water. So my feeling is that you carry some of that energy. You're surrounded by it right now, and to me it feels like it's something that you've earned. And so it's almost like it's coming back to you because of your kindness and generosity towards humanity over the years. Where you are now in your moment of need, hope is there for you. The water bottle is now coming to you. No charge. It's just the goodness of humanity. Obviously, somebody or something out there loves you and cares for you and wants you to keep going, okay? Sometimes it just takes one bottle of water to get things back going again, and you can live another day. Oh, excuse me, sorry. Hey, Gregory, do you mind? I got interrupted here. I interrupted myself, okay? Because I glanced over here to the chat section. It's sort of over there. I'm trying to work here with you, and then there's the stage. But I just saw something from Melissa Lawrence, okay? Thank you, Melissa. You're reading The Road Less Traveled. Well done. Okay. If you learn anything from there, please share it with us, because there are people here who would probably really benefit from that knowledge and that wisdom, okay? Okay, so more notes coming in for you, Gregory, from people who know a lot about what's going on, okay? Thank you, Path. All right. So, to me it looks like this is kind of a universal energy. I think this is very much to do with Saturn and Aquarius and Uranus and Taurus right now. Like, oh yes, it's a very challenging alignment, but in some ways it's bringing out, like I'm not saying it's bringing out the best in you, but it's almost like karmic dues. That's what I'm sensing here, is that it is your time to receive the care. Because you've done a lot of, you've brought a lot of hope and salvation to others, and now you are enjoying the beneficence of hope and salvation from complete strangers, and they're just doing their job, but their job is to save you. One of the most important things they can do is take care of you, including especially more than anything else, water. Okay, let's have a look at the situation itself. Okay, when I see the Page of Cups here, my feeling is that it might be a very personal thing. I'll just show you close up. It seems to work well with the camera and lights tonight. This is the Page of Cups energy. My feeling is that in your situation right now, it's kind of like a humbling experience where, despite the limitations of being stuck in ICU, and despite having caught a hideous bug, and having to have all your ambitions and plans, put on hold for a while, I would say it feels to me like it's a very humbling experience, but it's kind of like it's cracking open some fossilized areas of your deep heart center that had been closed off for many, many years, and you are starting to realize, like, wow, love really does exist. It is a real thing. It is a phenomenon. It is, just like TL says, love is as love does. Now, it is kind of impersonal because, like, your caregivers, they're just doing their job. But my feeling is that there's some kind of like energy field that goes with your situation. Literally, if you can see the card, can you see the card? What I'm sensing is like a pulsing energy field where you are sensing at a very deep personal level what it is like to be loving and be loved simultaneously. Being loving and being loved. It can happen simultaneously. You don't necessarily always have to sit there and be loving, be loving, be loving, be loving, and then hope maybe tomorrow, next year, or the next decade you might be loved. This is happening in real time. My feeling with the Page of Cups here, in a very sweet, humbling, innocent kind of way, you are experiencing in three-dimensional, physiological, biological reality what it actually means to be loving and be loved. My sense is that your caregivers are aware that you are a water bearer, that you are a bringer of hope and salvation to the masses, to the unwashed masses, to the unnamed masses. Somehow or other they sense that in you. So they are treating you in a loving way, and you're just being you, being a loving person. So I really see this as a pulsing, living energy. Be loving, being loved. It is a very real phenomenon. You are loving, you are loved. Being loving and being loved. It's happening in real time. It can be very humbling, but it's very beautiful. It kind of doesn't even matter what happens from there onwards. Just to have that awareness that, my God, love is real. Love is as love does. All your actions over the years are starting to make sense in that, like, wow, it actually does work. It is like a flux. It is an ever-flowing wave energy. Be loving, be loved. Be loving, be loved. Holy bleep, it works. It's true. You are loving and you are loved. All right, now what's the problem here? Because I'm taking it to the extremes. Look at this, we got the Three of Cups. To me it feels like, well, actually, Tarot Illumination, I'm pretending I'm Gregory now. It feels like, TL, I know exactly what you're talking about, but I don't really have a lot of folks where I can celebrate with right now in terms of like immediate friends and family, because I'm stuck over here in ICU, so it's just me and the ICU and the caregivers, and there's only so much you can do in that situation. And then there's also the problem here with the Three of Cups, like whatever just happened coming out of the mouth of Tarot Illumination, that's so over the top, that's so ludicrous, it can't be real. How can that possibly real? How can that possibly be real where I can actually celebrate this? Because when I look at the mirror and I realize I'm in a frickin' ICU, I'm extremely sick, I could have died. Why on earth would I celebrate being in an ICU where I'm nearly dead? Okay? Do you see what I'm getting at here with the Three of Cups as a fear? It's like it doesn't make any sense. But the message that I'm getting from here is that it's a very extreme situation where you're getting this, like, you're having this chance to experience what it really is like. But like Maria's reading, it's so extreme you can hardly believe it. All right, let's have a look. How are we going to deal with this? Okay, I would look, to me, when I see the Chariot here, okay, let's have a look, like close-up look. Look at that. This is how we're going to deal with it. This is how we're going to deal with life, Gregory. We're going to understand that this is a chapter where it's almost like you have been, let's say, strategically immobilized by the heavens, by fate, by nature, to get to the point where you don't have any other options except to sit there live tonight, right now, in the ICU. You can't go anywhere else, you can't do anything else because you're so sick, but you are being well tended. in which case you can look at this as a very significant time stamp in your life, like one of those calendar moments where it's a realization like, wow, now that I see what you're talking about, TL, now that I understand what you're talking about, this is like a wake-up call where I can now get back to getting my life together the way it really needs to be done, the way I know it has to be done instinctively, intuitively, deep inside of me, that I really could not have done without having had this experience of being completely immobilized and stuck in the ICU and getting a miniature tarot reading by remote. It's a really, when you've got the major arcana here and here, it might feel very fated. So my feeling is to treat this as a fated event. Blame it on the planets. Just tell yourself, convince yourself, well, everything is exactly as it should be. It can't be any other way. That's how things are. So I might as well make the best of it. I might as well take advantage of it. Grab hold of all of the energy fields in my life. Understand the phenomenon of energy management, and that this is me and this is my life. It is my duty and responsibility to take control and hold of all the negative, fearful energies that drag me to one side and turn that into something positive, and then lean everything into a forward-reaching energy where it's almost like when you, let's just say, for example, when you gently start to recover and you get out and you start to get on with your three-dimensional life, you realize, wow, it's almost like a gift. I really needed that, because you get almost, when you're in an ICU, there's no question about it. At some point you were pretty close to death. And so you come out the other side and you realize this is a life-changing moment. This is a real powerful signal for me to take command and control in my life and get things going the way I need them to happen for me. Okay? You don't have to swim around in a kind of ambiguous manner where what's the direction, who am I, what is my purpose. There is now eventually a clearer sense of purpose and destiny and direction is going to appear before you, and it's going to happen because of the disability and the humbling experience of being basically trapped in an ICU. But you come out the other side, it's almost like heroic. It's like, okay, this is a signal. I am a finite being. I only have so much time and energy. I only have so much capacity to love and be loved. I understand that love is a commodity, and I have only so many waking hours during the day. I only have so many years on the clock. I'm going to make the absolute best of it going forward from here onwards, no matter what. So to me, this is a very encouraging reading, okay, Gregory? I hope you feel something good out of this too, okay? Okay, I'm going to put this aside. As some of you know, I still have this deep, deep yearning to have a little piece of property somewhere which I could call my own, which could be treated as a little bit of a sanctuary and a refuge for all of us here that participate. Money, of course, is a big issue. I tried to raise money long ago and all kind of backfired, but eventually I'm not dead yet. I still have some mileage left in me, and I would truly love to do that. I have a very strong Aquarian streak inside of me, and I get these urges now and again to have this like community type of environment. And I'm not trying to set up a cult. I'm not trying to like steal people's credit cards and lock women in my basement and treat them as my slaves, my sex slaves. That's not what I'm about. I'm not that person. I actually like things like cooking, art, music, writing, communication, and let's say creating the most healthy and fertile possible environment in any situation. Sometimes it's very demanding or impossible, but it does happen. I get dreams frequently. In fact, I had another one of my community dreams. It's a very Aquarian theme. I had one the other night. They've been happening a lot recently. It's about where I dream I'm in these like community settings where I'm just part of the community. I have a significant role in the community, but no one's better or lower than anyone else, and we all just kind of get along, and everybody has reached this kind of Aquarian understanding that we're all in this together. We're living on a planet this big, and that is our home. And we live in an area of limited resources and time and energy. And these ancient paradigms of bombastic evil empires that want to take total command and control of all of Earth and all of humanity, it's kind of a big yawn. It's obsolete. It's a redundant business model. The problem is that the elites who run all that stuff, they're not into it. They want absolute command and control. They want all the money, all the control, and all the power. And the more they have, the more they want. They are insatiable. They're literally like junkies. They are junkies for power and money and control. And they get that by stealing it from we the people. In my dreams, that doesn't happen. It doesn't exist. The nearest thing I can imagine to doing that is what I wanted to do years ago, is get a little place in New Zealand, invite everybody to visit whenever you can or whenever you can afford to. All right. Hello, Sonia. Hello, Jeffrey. Good night, Jeffrey. Looks like you gotta go. Looks like Pat's gotta go. Good night, Pat. Thank you. All right, so up next we have Tina. Thank you, Tina. I'll put this over here. I'm going to do a full-on blind reading. Got to shuffle up a little bit. Hold on. Give me a second here. Chat amongst yourselves, amuse yourselves while I shuffle up and get things cut and ready for Tina. All right? Thank you. Yes, when I have these dreams about these communities, they're very vivid. It's like being in a three-dimensional Technicolor movie. I see people like making brownies and recipes with plants and flowers. I see animals. I see a kaleidoscope of people and relationships and situations. I see craftspersons. I see people who manage resources. I see animals. And it's all done in a very egalitarian, Aquarian manner. And it happens in such a way that the community polices itself, so that anyone who decides that they are above and beyond the community and they're trying to take control and command and ownership of the community for their own personal benefit, that person is sequestered and their energy is corralled to the point where if they have to, they can be expelled or exterminated without mercy, because the community is more important than the empire builders. Anyway, those are just dreams. I have them frequently. Oh yeah, I'll remember. Let me just tell you, I just remembered part of it. I just remembered a tiny fragment of the dream that I had last night. I was in one of these large community settings. Things were very healthy. There was a low population. The land was fertile. The rivers and oceans and streams and lakes were very clean and very clear. People looked after each other in very benevolent ways. Hostilities were dealt with by the community. And there were these kind of community events where people celebrated each other for the tiniest things and for the big things. I like to do music and art and writing, and I used to do a lot of pop music and being on stages and performing, and there are things you can do like that in that community dream that I had. But in this particular dream, there was a woman who flew into the neighborhood on a helicopter. It was kind of a magic helicopter, and this woman was a representative of one of the, let's say, community news broadcast channels. And she just flew in to say hello to everybody. We want to take some footage of your community and how you live life and how there is happiness and harmony between yourselves and the animals and nature. And how do you do this? How do you do this? You know, they bring up the microphone. So how do you do this? And so she said, you know what? Why don't you get into the helicopter with me and guide me on a tour around your community? And I went, ooh, that's exciting. And so she took her helicopter close to the ground. She didn't land. I got close enough where I could hop on board, and we went up in the helicopter and we zoomed all around the community, and I pointed out this over here. These are the people who take care of pigs and chickens. These are the people who take care of hygiene. These are the people who take care of mothers in pregnancy. These are the people who are like doctors. These are the people who do teaching for children. It just went on and on and on, and the helicopter was flying in and out of all of it. And she was very happy, and she was recording all of it and reporting it to the transmitter, the station or whatever, and it was being broadcast to the broader community. So anyway, I felt really glad to be a part of that. Hello, Karen, over there in New Zealand. Greetings. Hello, Sonia K. Yeah. Good night, Jeffrey, and again, good night, Path. Okay, let's keep going. All right. Sorry, I got interrupted there, Tina. I hope you're doing okay. Let's get on with your reading. I need another sip. Cheers, Tina. Thank you for all your support over these years. I'm going to shuffle again, because I have to shuffle again. I'm going to do a complete blind reading. We've worked together quite a few times, Tina, so there is obviously some backstory that, might come out in this, but I don't lean on that. Whatever comes out is whatever comes out, and if something out of your backstory comes and it's relevant to the reading, then that's what happens. But otherwise, I just go completely in the now, in the moment. Forget the past, forget the future. Forget previous readings. All that counts is now. What now? What now? What now? What now? I do recall that you now have Ava, your search and rescue dog, and it sounds like a beautiful relationship between you and Ava. Let's cut this up, see what goes on here. Alright, let's have a look. Here's the situation. Here's the challenges. Here's how we're going to handle it. And let's have a look at the weather for you. So we have here the Queen of Pentacles. Look at this. Okay, just imagine that not only are you surrounded by this energy, Tina, it's almost like you could look in a mirror and realize, my gosh, it's like I am at one with the world. I am at one with society. I am surrounded by wealth and abundance and beauty. I am enjoying wealth and abundance and beauty. The question is, what does it really mean going forward on the new scale? This kind of abundance isn't just, like being born with a silver spoon in your mouth or whatever that expression is. This is very hard earned. And the Queen of Pentacles is very, very aware that she is in custody of something or some things of extreme value. And so it becomes very important about, well, what am I supposed to do with my resources, my gifts, and my talent. It's actually an incredible responsibility. And of course, the Queen of Pentacles is very determined that these resources are, let's say, very well managed, very well maintained for the long term, and that they are not squandered. You do not scatter your resources where there is low chance of fertility or reward or return. You cannot afford to waste any resources on a whim or someone who's just begging because they want what you've got. It's very important to be very, very discerning about all your wealth and talent and resources that are now at your disposal. It's a lot of responsibility, frankly. So with the Queen of Pentacles here, like surrounding you, let's just say it's very much to do with the Taurus, Capricorn energy. Over here, Capricorn and Taurus. I don't put it much on the charts here because the angles are so far apart. Like Pluto's at 26 degrees and Uranus is at about, 10 degrees or something. So that's really far apart, so I didn't put a green line here. But if you want to, for this reading, Tina, you can assume that there is a big, fat, fuzzy green line here between Pluto in Capricorn and Uranus in Taurus. It's very rich, strong, earthy, three-dimensional energy that is in a state of profound flux for the whole planet and for you. And so it's giving you a chance. It's almost like not looking into a crystal ball, but the imagery is very important here on this reading. It's almost like realizing, like, wow, you have something of great value in your hands. And the more you look at it, the more it has different ways of expressing itself. Like, it's like looking at a sort of magic. I don't know if you've ever done that, Tina, but I'm very lucky. I've had the experience of holding a gold coin in my hand. A $2,000 gold coin. It's only that big. It looks like the size of an American dollar, silver dollar. But it's gold and it's worth about... And it's very mysterious because when you realize that, my God, this is worth thousands of dollars. And then the question is, what am I going to do with that? It's kind of a big deal. Okay, here's the situation itself. Okay, so with the energy of binding, being trapped and being locked, or being, let's say, what's the word? What's the word? I'm looking. It's a very specific word. It's about being. Like you might have pre-existing expectations. Don't look. I mean, it's a scary imagery here, but don't be scared of it because there's a reason why the devil card exists. Humanity is supposed to know what it's like to indulge in being a human, indulging in your desires. So if you take it too far, that means like becoming an alcoholic or a druggie or becoming locked into an abusive relationship, and it takes control and command where you don't know anything else anymore. Like I'm sure you're aware of this. You've probably seen this, Tina, where people who are stuck in very abusive relationships, they find a way to fool themselves that this is normal in order that they can survive. In fact, from the traditional interpretations on this card, it's like an illusion. It's just the fear of itself. You can always unshackle yourself if you're willing to deal with the consequence of unshackling yourself from a very powerful, let's say, system of order and control that you can either have put on yourself or others can have put upon you, where it feels like you are tied through obligation and commitments and responsibilities that really you don't deserve, that really aren't yours, but you might have been, guilted, pressured into things where you feel you have to comply with, let's say, certain demands and pressures on you in terms of relationships that keep you stuck and locked in a way that it's not easy for you to really kind of tap into your true strength and your true power. It's literally like being trapped by expectations that you place upon yourself very subconsciously, expectations that others place upon you very deliberately, and then out of compassion you honor those expectations even though they're not legitimate. And so you end up trapped. But it's not necessarily trapped because, Tina, you're very, very smart. You already know that this is your life. And if you are in a situation of entrapment, you are part of that equation. In other words, if you're honest, you would have to admit, like, I admit that I am allowing myself to be trapped. It's because I don't have a solution about how to unlock the entrapment. And that's kind of an illusion, but it feels real. Okay, so that's a bit of a problem. And my feeling is that with the retrogrades coming up right now, Pisces, in the Pisces energy, Jupiter in Pisces, Neptune in Pisces, you might be in a situation right now where even with the very, very best of intentions about how you're going to manage your life and disperse your abundance and abilities and responsibilities and gifts, the reality is that you are still trapped. You're still trapped in some way that is very, very deep down. It's very, very hard to understand what it really means. Like, it's not fair. It doesn't even make any sense. Like, these are very conflicting energies for you in this reading. And my feeling is that with the retrogrades over the next few months, with this sector here, the Piscean sector in the 12th house for humanity, you're going to be very gently exposed to to the actual wording for yourself, where you can actually figure out and understand for yourself, like, oh, like in a few months from now I know what you're talking about, TL. I remember that reading we did months ago about how I was trapped in my own trap. And I thought it was somebody else trapping me. Or I thought that it was politics or heaven or just nature. And then I'm realizing, wow, I am the source of my own entrapment up to a certain extent. And then you realize, oh my God, so what am I going to do? That becomes almost like a very shocking awareness. Oh my God, I have become my own worst enemy at the very deepest level of my soul without even knowing that happened. Because 99% of the time, Tina, you are constantly motivated to do the right thing and be the right person, to be loving and be loved. That's just your natural DNA. And yet, we're dealing with this reading here. And so, it's part of like a soul journey, like going deep, 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 deep down. Because when you understand that some way, somehow, you are the cause of your own entrapment, then it gives you a much greater understanding of like, aha, now I have a better idea of how I can truly live in my power, in my resources, in my strength, so I don't unwittingly give away my resources, and instead I invest my resources in ways that they are going to work and grow. So you do not dissipate in a state of entrapment and bondage. You actually learn over the rest of this year or the next few months how to gently release yourself from your own bondage, and then realign yourself so that you can, like, it's like reprogramming, reformatting. What's the problem here? Let's have a look. Okay, so with the Page of Swords here, to me it feels like, it's like with this, what this reading is like, to me it feels like it's a very broad, expansive reading, where the deep fear is that deep down you know that you are on a journey, a life journey. You've already done so much, you've come so far, you've lived through so many different chapters of your life, and you are on a new chapter now. For example, you've got your new furry friend Ava, the search and rescue dog. Okay, so the question is, what now? What now? What now? Where do we go from here? What does my future look like? How am I going to direct my passion, my intentions, my integrity, my courage, my power, my strength, to do good and to be good, to be the best person I can be? How on earth am I exactly going to do that? Because this card here in this position is saying, like, oh my God, I still have so much to learn. And so the learning might come from discovering that you kind of have to do a bit of archaeology of the soul. Okay? You could take advantage of these retrogrades coming up, starting in the next few days and going on for the next few months, where treat it as a chance to do very deep, gentle archaeology of the soul. Okay? You don't want to rush this, where you can understand how you could have been paralyzed or petrified for years at a time without knowing it, and that by gentle, the process of archaeology done properly, it's very gentle and slow and methodical. You can release yourself, and then you can uncover and kind of get back to your true nature here. But right now, my feeling is the deep fear is that you might not ever get the chance to really tap into your so-called future, your energy, your direction going forward in a way that you would love to live. It's almost kind of like being stuck in an invisible cage and then realizing it, because it's an invisible cage of entrapment, and then you get this gentle, slow awareness like, oh my God, damn it, I'm stuck in this invisible cage. How can I possibly live my life, which is a life of courage and valor, and basically being good and enjoying being loving and being loved. Love is as love does. This is very much a card of action, but it's impossible to have that energy activated if you are stuck in an invisible prison of your own doing. So let's see, how do we go forward from here? Okay, another page, Page of Pentacles. So my feeling is that it's time to take advantage of these retrogrades and take a deeper, closer, harder look at what your resources are, especially things like money, talents, gifts, time, property, assets, and all of that. Because you might already have a very good broad understanding of it because you're a smart person. But to me it feels like with this reading there is much more to learn. And the way to go forward is understanding, like, wow, if I actually dedicate a little bit of time to, let's say, learning more about money and finances, especially, if I make that my project, then I can gently unravel the mystery that lives here and gently loosen off the chains and the knots of my own self-entrapment. But this, it looks like a very sweet, innocent card, but in this reading it feels to me like the message is that however much you know about money, finance, wealth, property, and how to manage that to the very best and the highest degree for you, number one, it looks to me like there is still more to learn. I'm not saying that I have the answers, but there is more to learn, and it's important to learn what you don't know. Otherwise, you get stuck in the same trap over and over again, trying to solve a problem that you don't know how to solve until you understand this. So this looks to me like there is a learning process coming up ahead here for you. This is not a super high stress thing. To me, this just feels like it's time to maybe like watch YouTube videos about money and finance, talk to people who really understand and know about money, not people who are trying to so-called take your money and invest it for you, but so that you personally have full command and control and understanding of your finances, your wealth, your abundance, your resources, so that you don't get hoodwinked, and that you don't get trapped by others or yourself from whatever it is that you don't know or don't understand about money. I do have a couple of tips for you if you're interested, because there's some people I like to watch on YouTube, and I've also done a lot of studies in money and finance myself. I don't have a lot of money, but I've learned a lot about money, and I've helped other people grow their finances. Okay? Anyway, it's something to think about. It's kind of a awkward, large, subtle, deep reading. But to me, it looks like there's no way out of this. In order for you to get into the highest levels of prosperity, you can't go along with your default settings. You're going to have to study and learn more about really what to do and how to do it. And that's going to be good for you, number one. And when you optimize that to the best of what's for you, then that's best for everyone else around you as well. Okay? I hope this helps you, Tina. Thank you very much again for your kindness and generosity. Let's keep going. Next up, we have Maria. Let's see how that goes. No, wait a minute. We already read for Maria. What am I doing? Duh. We have Atlanta, Georgia. Okay, and oh, you know what? I forgot. Someone else put in a little donation, and I have to give that. Wait a minute. Maybe that's Atlanta, Georgia. Hold on. Give me a second, folks. I have to go back through the chat to see what I'm doing here. That's Atlanta. Okay, Atlanta, Georgia. You put in a donation by Super Chat. Okay, I've got it. Okay, I see where we are now. Because we have read for Gregory and for Maria and for Tina. Okay, so Atlanta, you're up next. So actually, I do have enough time and energy inside of me where I believe I could handle one more reading, if anyone's interested. Okay. Hello, Fritoli. Yay. Hello. All right. Hello, Karen, over there in New Zealand. Yeah, it's the middle of winter. Tomorrow will be the winter solstice, June 21st. The longest night, the shortest day for the New Zealanders. All right, I need another sip. Okay, Atlanta, Georgia, thank you. We're going to read for you next, but I'm reaching out. I'm extending my services to one more reading if anyone's interested. I feel comfortable enough to be able to handle one more reading if anyone's interested. So I'll go through the routines again. If you're a stranger, a newbie out there, you've never done this before, and you're watching, and you want to get a short live mini reading, it's by donation. Different ways you can do that. Number one, if you've got PayPal, you can send money, like $10, whatever, to my email by your PayPal. My email is alittlebookabout@yahoo.com. Okay, very simple. A little book about. yahoo.com. There's another way you can donate. You can go over here. You can go to terralumination.com on one of your devices, click the donate page, click the donate button, and you'll get a payment processor from my PayPal. You just swipe a card or use your PayPal or whatever. There's another way that you can do it, and that is by Super Chat. You can do Super Chat, which is the button just below where you type. And that brings up the payment processor for the Super Chat on the YouTube system. And you can swipe a card there too. Have I missed anything? Okay, so there's the donate page, there's the PayPal email, and then there's the Super Chat. I think that covers it. I think we pretty much covered it. So yeah, if there's anyone else out there who wants one, we've got room for one more tonight. So I'm just going to move over here now. Give me a second. I got to move over back to this. Where was I? Hold on. I'm trying to recalibrate myself. Oh, here we are. Yeah. Hey, Starzy, what's going on? Thanks for dropping by. Good evening. We did, Starzy, you just arrived, but if you click back to the beginning of the show, maybe later on or whenever, we did a coverage of the astrology weather for the day. I did one of my Terralumination Astrodoodles. So if you want to get your bearings, if you want to get like a miniature weather report for the astrology, go back to the beginning of the show and you'll find something there. If there's anyone out there, like I said, if anyone's out there and you've never done this before, don't be scared. You can just jump in, do the donation, clickety-click. You get your mini reading, you're good to go. Okay, it's simple. It's energy healing, okay? Some of you are aware of this. There's a wonderful book. It's like from the early 80s. I refer to this all the time. It's called Hands of Light. It's by Barbara Brennan, who is a formal energy healer who took her skills into a teaching practice. I don't know if she teaches anymore. I mean, this was many years ago. But the work still stands strong today. We're doing something similar here. We're just doing healing. What this is all about is healing. We are healing, we are healed. It's the same as we are loving, we are loved. Be healing, be healed. Heal others, be healed by others, and so on and so on. Understand the laws of the universe. Understand the laws of nature. Understand universal law, universal truth. It overrides all the subjective truth here on planet Earth when we get sucked up into our opinions, our prejudices, our, let's say, belief systems, which may be bogus. I mean, it's amazing when you come onto the subject of belief systems. People believe what they believe. And I'm sure you have encountered this in your life, where you meet someone and they believe a certain something, or they believe a certain way of life, or they believe that blah, blah, blah is going to happen. They believe that there's going to be a mass extinction event in 2024 when Pluto hits 27 degrees Capricorn, because Terralumination's been talking about it, and it's such an important thing. It's going to be the end of the world. That's it. There's the Maya calendar. There's the people who make movies about Revelations and the Ascension and Doom. All of those things. People believe these. There are people, really intelligent, hardworking, sometimes very wealthy people, who believe certain things that some other people would believe or look at and that, like, that's absurd. That's completely absurd. What can you do? People believe what they believe. If they believe that there are UFOs and aliens, to them it's real. Can they prove it? It doesn't matter. It's still real to them anyway. Things like that. I have my own beliefs. Some of them might be absurd. I have prejudices. I admit it. I have DNA just like everybody else. And what can you do? There's certain things I can't undo. I'm a white, English-speaking, Caucasian American. By definition, according to the new politics, I don't believe that, but some people do. Some people get extremely violent because of people like me. If I'm just born, this is my identity. And because of who I am, in my DNA, in my life, I'm being demonized. Is it deserved? I don't know. I don't think so, but some people do. That's their belief. So on and so on. Anyway, let's get on with things. Who we got? We got Atlanta, Georgia. I hope you're still there. Please let me know. I hope you're still good. And then we're going to get on with your reading. Thank you, Atlanta, Georgia. Sorry, I had a little rant just then. It helps me to keep going. I'm going to get myself a top-up on my beverage, if I can find out where the bottle is. Give me a second, folks. Ah, there it is. I found it. Stay right there. Don't go away. Cheers, everyone. Yay, you are here. All right. If you don't mind, Atlanta, we've been doing blind readings all night. Here, it is nighttime over here in Las Vegas. And if you don't mind, unless you've got something like a really burning issue at critical mass, I would prefer to just do a live reading for you, because that will allow anything and everything to come through. All right, let's have a look, folks. Let's see what's going on. I got to shuffle, I got to shuffle, I got to shuffle. I like to have a nice super clean deck for each reading. I'd like to kind of like do a generic apology to anyone and everyone who's watching, who wishes that Tarot Lumination could go back to having 40 videos, you know, like 25 or 30 videos per month, and we had a booming channel, and everyone would get their love and relationship reports, their soul journey reports, sign by sign, month by month. I can't do that right now because the channel won't let me do it, so I don't bother, but we can still do this. So things are the way they are. Yes, I'm a little bit sad about the demise of the channel. On the other hand, I have more time to myself, and oddly enough, pretty much every second of my waking consciousness is consumed by things that I didn't know that I had to do until I realized I had to do them. And when I get to the Sunday night shows, or sometimes, if I'm lucky, the Wednesday rant, I feel so happy to be there, and I put everything into that as much as I can, because I put as much as I can into everything else I do in my life in between the shows. And so it's like a never-ending story. It just goes on and on and on. It's just that the amount of time and hours and the structure of the shows has changed over time because life changes. I have to deal with life changes just like the rest of you guys and gals. All right. No problem, Tina. Thank you. It's always a pleasure to read for you. It kind of doesn't matter what comes out. It's just always a pleasure. Hello, Frittali. Sounds like it's hot and muggy where you're talking about. Yep. I've lived for years on the East Coast, Frittali, so I know exactly what you're talking about. It can sit there. You can get these massive thunderclouds. It can be 95 degrees, and the clouds are sitting there, and you're thinking, any minute now we're going to get a massive deluge, a huge downpour, and it's going to be wonderful. And then nothing happens. And things just move on, and you just end up sweltering in this thick soup of thunder and lightning that never happens. Sometimes it doesn't even rain. I can tell you. Okay, I'm getting all nostalgic right now. I can't help it. Sorry. Give me a moment, Atlanta, Georgia. Because I've lived in different parts of the East Coast. But I know that feeling that you're talking about, Frittali. It's an amazing feeling. I feel like I was in a Norman Rockwell. You know Norman Rockwell? He's that famous American artist who portrayed America in its kind of glory days where everything was just American at its best. There's the little house in the neighborhood. There's the little fence. And there's the porch and the patio. And there's the friends and the neighbors and the people. I lived that life. I've already lived that in one of my lifestyle package deals. So there I was, for example, like in Akron, Ohio, or Cincinnati, Ohio, or Portsmouth. I was in one of those places where I was sitting on a bench, you know, on a classic old school porch, wooden siding, wooden fencing, 5 steps up to the porch, and then to the front door. And on the side of the porch, there's a swing. It's a swing bench. And it's just the most therapeutic, lovely thing to get on there. And at that time, I would sometimes smoke a little cigarillo thingy. And one of the kids would come out and I would say, "Hey, Nathan, how are you doing? You want one?" Of course, the mom was furious, but, you know, guys are guys. I'd sit there, like, "How are you doing, Nathan?" And he's like, "Well, man, I wish it would frickin' rain." I'd be like, "Yeah, I know what you're saying, man. Man, look at that. Did you see the lightning? Did you see the thunder? Did you hear it? Did you feel that? Yeah. I wish it would rain." And you're still rocking back and forth, and then suddenly, like, oh my God, it's gonna rain. It's gonna rain. Holy Jesus, it's gonna rain. And then you sit there under the porch. There's thunder and lightning everywhere, like a spectacular, you know, special effects IMAX movie experience, but it's real. And then suddenly you get these massive downpours, and you can't even tell the raindrops apart. The rain is so thick and so heavy. It's just like a deluge, like you're standing under a waterfall. But you're in the porch, and you're protected. You're having a whiskey. You're having your favorite smoke. Having a beverage. You're in good company. You know you're not going to get hit by lightning, but I've been in houses when they are hit by lightning, so I know what that's like. But I'm alive to tell the tale. And of course, then the storm ends and it's all over, and you think, wow, man, that was frickin' cool. So there you go. It's true. I have been in houses that have been hit by lightning at the time that I was in the house. It is the most mind-boggling experience. If you've never been in a house while it's hit by lightning, I have to tell you, it's worth signing up. If they could do that on Airbnb or some kind of app or profile or something online, and people would pay thousands of dollars to be in a house when it's hit by lightning, I would say do it. It's kind of like when you go up with Richard Branson or somebody and you go into outer space. It's kind of like that. All right. All right, Atlanta, Georgia. I know Atlanta and Georgia. I've been there. I used to have a girlfriend over there. I remember Peachtree Avenue. I remember the heat and the humidity. I remember the very social nature of people. Yeah. Let's have a look at Atlanta, Georgia. See what's going on for Atlanta, Georgia. All right. Hold on tight. You might have to put your hands under your butt. I'm just kidding. All right, Atlanta, Georgia. Let's have a look. We're going to cut everything up. I'm going to do a blind reading for you. Hope you don't mind. Bless this deck. Bless every single card. Bless the technology, the cameras, the lights, the electricity, the wires, the cables, the softwares, all of that we can do this at all. It's amazing. Here's the situation. Here's the challenge. Here's how we're going to handle it. And let's have a look at the weather for you. Okay. So we got the Six of Wands here. Now, to me, it feels like this is very much related to the grand water trine that is in process right now in the heavens. Have a look. Let's do this close up because it seems to work here on this stage. You see this? Traditionally, this is the card of victory. The card of being recognized as being a winner. The card of success. The card of enjoying being recognized as a winner. Of having expended your life energy and your gifts and talents in such a way that is appreciated and respected by the community. Okay? So, here we go. Look at this. This is a loose grand trine right now, but in the very, very near future, within the next 36 hours, you're going to live through a grand trine, exactly, where the moon in Scorpio is going to trine Neptune in Pisces and Venus in Cancer. It's a beautiful, sweet, sweet energy, so just enjoy it while you can, because it won't last. Okay. Might as well enjoy it while you can. You deserve it, okay? Also with the Six of Wands, what I'm sensing here is that it's important for you, Atlanta, it's important for you to acknowledge in yourself that it's okay to accept the accolades. It's okay. You don't have to apologize for success. You don't have to apologize or dumb yourself down because you don't want to embarrass other people because you're actually pretty good. Instead, the Six of Wands energy here is like basically saying like, please enjoy your time in the energy field of appreciation. You appreciating yourself, number one. Allowing yourself to be appreciated by others, by society, by the world, number two. In such a way that you start to understand, like, what does victory and success really mean? Does it mean like, ha, I screwed you over. Ha! Yeah! Got you. I got you out of my life. No, it's more like, wow, I have survived. I have lived another day. I am stronger than ever before. The fact that I woke up this morning is an amazing thing. The fact that I can see a life ahead and a future ahead that might be enjoyable, where I can tap into my natural gifts and talents and resources and go forward as what other people would call a winner. It's perfectly okay. You don't have to apologize. In fact, that's the worst thing you could do. You don't want to gloat on that. You don't want to exploit that. But one of the energies of winning and being a winner is to, it's a very humble thing. It's just like, thank you. It's just like, thank you. Thank you. You know? And I think I've already made myself clear. I hope that helps. All right, now to me this feels like it's very nebulous and fleeting, and it could go by without you even noting. So I'm very glad that you actually got a reading here tonight, because otherwise this could have just gone through without you ever knowing. And it's very important, like with the planets the way they are right now, that you become aware. You know how I talk all the time about all the red angles and all the stresses and the sacred geometry that translates into stress, panic, paranoia, fear, destruction, failures, loss, everything. We have to know about that, because that's the whole point of why I do these things, is so that people have a kind of like a little weather app that they can tune into to try and navigate through life. And kind of like what they do on the Weather Channel or some, mass media shows, every now and again they give you a bit of good news. Like this beautiful sweet thing here. This is very fleeting. This big fat green triangle here, it's very fleeting. It'll be here and gone within a matter of hours, okay? But it is real. And it's important to be aware of it and celebrate that and take advantage of it, because within moments, we can be dropped back into the perils of challenges of all kinds. Let's have a look here. What's the situation itself? Okay, we've got the Wheel of Fortune here. Let's have a really good close-up. See if we can do that. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. Look at that. This is epic. Okay? We're talking about the energy of nature. Earth, air, fire, and water in their mythological understanding. Okay? We live on a planet where the elements at the core level are earth, air, fire, and water. When we talk about earth, we're talking about anything material. When we talk about air, we're talking about anything to do with communications in our atmosphere. When we talk about fire, we're literally talking about fire, but also motivations, actions, and desire. When we're talking about earth, we're talking about resources, money, animals, farms, banks, land, everything. My feeling with the Wheel of Fortune here for you, Atlanta, Georgia, is that you're at a point in life where you're getting, excuse me, like a vivid exposure to like the physical reality of your life right now. Like you're getting a very vivid, it's almost like being in a waking dream. That's what I'm sensing here. Remember when I was talking earlier about these vivid dreams I get about humanity and community? It's part of my nature. It's also part of the Saturn and Aquarius thing. It's also a part of the Uranus and Taurus thing. My feeling is that in your own way, you're starting to get sensitized to the elements. Like you're really starting to understand, like, wow, it really is all about energy. Earth, air, fire, and water. And it's in a constantly ever-changing surf of life. It goes up, it goes down. It goes up, it goes down. It's good, then it's bad. It's good, and then it's bad. It's good, and then it's good, and it's good, and then it's bad, and then bad, and bad, and bad. And you realize that's just nature. This is just the clock of life. Okay, so if you look at this as a clock, okay? Look at this as a very elaborate clock. Sacred geometry. These heavenly bodies are swirling around in an almost perpetual, never-ending cycle. There are no times when they're exactly the same, but there are certain patterns that are very precise and predictable. There's the returns. The solar return. Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. They all have their returns. The solar return is every 365 days. The moon return is every 28 days. Mercury return is roughly what? What is it? Sorry, I'm getting lost there. But I guess the point that I'm trying to get at is that with the Wheel of Fortune here, you are starting to correlate your life experience with this beautiful clock of sacred geometry. Like, oh my God, I am plugged into this. I am surfing through life with these energy fields. And to succeed in life, it means understanding the energy fields and how to navigate and surf the energy fields so that you thrive, so that you succeed. So, for example, even though right now we have these super high stress alignments here, 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 and here, we also have harmonious alignments here, 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 and here. And you start to think, wow, it really is like surfing. Okay, so Atlanta, Georgia, please understand, I'm not a surfer. I can barely boogie board. And I've had a lot of near-death situations in surf and water and oceans. But I'm still alive to tell the tale. But for you, what I'm sensing here is that you are seeing how life works in terms of energy fields. And that when you understand the cyclical nature of things, okay, the cyclical nature, I'm literally talking about the orbits of the planets, okay? Each planet has its own orbit, and each one of those orbits affects you personally. So it becomes your duty to understand the orbits, to understand the sacred geometry, so that you are not a victim of this energy, you are actually a beneficiary of this energy. Got it? What's the challenges here? You doubt your own awesomeness. Deep, deep, deep down, you must have some kind of really profound insecurity complex. Some, what's that expression? Like inferiority complex. Like, it's almost like you're ashamed of your own success. You're ashamed of your own beauty. You're ashamed of your own abilities. You're ashamed of your own talents. I'm going to go off on a tangent here, okay, Atlanta, Georgia, please forgive me. But your reading here is reminding me about this phenomenon that is happening in the United States, where people who are fundamental to the birth of the United States and the culture of the United States are now being demonized. Like, you're too white, you're too powerful, you're too intelligent, you're too privileged. You need to be ashamed, you need to pay up, you need to be punished, you need to be penalized for being so awesome. And we're going to make sure that horrible stuff happens to you. Okay? That's happening all across America right now. Okay? So my feeling is that because it looks like you're essentially a good soul, there's part of you which is feeling like, oh my God, I really need to dumb myself down. I am so ashamed of my beauty, my talents, my gifts and resources. It's true. It's real. It's disgusting. It's embarrassing. I have no right to be as awesome as I am. I have no right to be as powerful, beautiful, successful, capable, kind, loving, generous, fertile as I am. I am despicable. I am disgusting for being so awesome. It's shameful. Okay? Do you see the storyline I'm going with here, Atlanta? How are you going to deal with that? Okay. God, look at this. You got all these freaking arcanas here. Look at this. Wheel of Fortune, the Empress, the Star. Okay, so this is a very fated reading. So for you, Atlanta, Georgia, you might be one of these people where you feel like your life is incredibly fated. Almost like where you have no control over your life. Almost like where, like, who am I really? What am I doing here? I incarnated as a person, but I feel like my incarnation in this lifetime is that somebody or something owns me and that I am being used for a purpose. Well, as a matter of fact, that might be true in some ways. We have the Star card here. So the way forward is that instead of apologizing or being scared or embarrassed for being awesome and being able to navigate through life and being able to understand success and understand the beneficence, the bounty of this planet, and dumbing yourself down so that you can, let's say, appease the masses. Instead, the storyline is the opposite. You have to take it even further. Instead of trying to hide your light, instead of trying to dumb yourself down and criminalize yourself, diminish yourself in order to accommodate the people who can't handle your light, the storyline is the exact opposite. Instead, you have to walk deeper and deeper into your own light, into your own strength, into your own capabilities, into your own beauty, power, fertility, and awesomeness, and become an instrument of the healing power of love. You actually become a lighthouse. The message here with the Star card is that the way out is through. The way for you to deal with your situation is to go deeper into the path of becoming more and more of a lighthouse. Okay? The energy of the lighthouse, where you become a lighthouse for others. Marianne Williamson, you've probably heard of her. Some people think it was Nelson Mandela, but he took the expression from her. It's the story, I think, is like something like this, where once you give yourself permission to be your most awesome self, and other people witness that in you, then you effectively become a guiding light that gives us a green light for other people to live in their own light. You give permission and guidance for other people to go forward and be as awesome as you can be. Each of them in their own way, of course. Let's see if I can say that again. By being a lighthouse, and a leader for others in a way that is not self-serving, you actually show others the way so that they can give permission to themselves to live further and further in their own light. Instead of constantly trying to take down others of light, instead of you having to diminish your light to accommodate the lowest frequencies of the masses, the story here is you have to go full on. You have to become a lighthouse. Okay? I'm going to play you a little song right now before I forget. It's called The Blue Light. Okay, stay there. Don't go away. It's called The Blue Light. Let's see if it comes up here. It is. Wait a minute. Here it is. It's a song. Here it is. Okay. So I'm going to give you a little bit of background about the song, okay? I was very lucky to be in the company of some really powerful, super advanced yoga teachers who were really more like healers. And I received some incredibly powerful, effective yoga healing that I would say is pretty rare and pretty inaccessible. And it happened to me because it had to happen to me, otherwise I would have died. And in one of those sessions, I was very fortunate to be in the company of one of the really high-powered yoga teachers. And because now and again I get these visionary experiences, like you could call it psychic awareness or mediumship, I was very lucky to literally witness the blue light around this teacher. It's I don't have the photograph here that I can show you, but I tried to make I made a painting of this. I can't show it here right now. I wish I could. But it's about witnessing the blue light of hope and spirit that emanated from this healer, this teacher. And I can vouch for you that this is real. And what I'm sensing here for you, Atlanta, Georgia, that this is part of your path. That you are ultimately supposed to get on a path where you also are one of these souls that radiate the blue light. Okay, let me play the song so hopefully it makes more sense to you. Please listen to the words carefully. It's a slow waltz. Okay, let's see what happens here.
Witness the blue lights around you, mixed with gold and turquoise surrounding you, pouring down on you like a shower that you shared with us for an hour. Sometimes it feels like it's fading. I know you won't let it all disappear. Your love is the essence, it burns incandescent. Your love is a lighthouse, my dear. Your love is the essence, it burns incandescent. Your love is a lighthouse, my dear. We need the light shining eternal, most especially when things get infernal. When things get all battered and shattered, lost in darkness, that's when it matters. And though sometimes it feels like it's fading, I know you won't let it all disappear. Your love is the essence, it burns incandescent. Your love is a lighthouse, my dear. Your love is the essence, it burns incandescent. Your love is is a lighthouse, my dear. Your love is the essence, it burns incandescent. Your love is a lighthouse, my dear. Your love is the essence, it burns incandescent. Your love is a lighthouse, my dear.
So, there you go. There you go. I hope that song made sense for you and you get something out of the lyrics. It's very, very real. It's an amazing thing when you witness the aura of someone. Sometimes it's really nasty, but I was very lucky in this situation. I got to witness the aura of a very powerful healer. It's literally like what the song says. It's like you can see the blue lights. You can see the blue lights. It's amazing. It's just amazing. Alright, so I'm going to wrap it up now. Looks like we've done our readings for the night. We've got stuff to do, places to go. I'm going to shuffle this all up, and we'll do this again another time. I could have probably handled another reading, but let's look at it this way. Everything is exactly as it should be. And let's activate the attitude of gratitude. I'm going to have a nice evening here. I wish you all a nice evening. It is already Monday in New Zealand and Australia and other parts over there in Southeast Asia. But in America, it is Sunday night. And everyone's starting to wrap it up because we start a new week tomorrow. The moon will be in Scorpio tomorrow, and we'll get a stronger harmony with that big, grand water trine. Okay, we're clear. We're good to go. Alright. So, I think what I'm going to do is going to wrap it up on one of my silly songs. It's that song, it's called Hey Oh. I've played it here quite a few times. But it's like, you know, I wrote it for women, for girls. But in a way it also applies to guys. If you just kind of like, you know, juggle the lyrics around a bit and rephrase everything and replace words so you can make it gender specific for guys. Okay, I'm going to play that and then I'm just going to go away. And bless you all. Love you guys. It's been a pleasure to do this. Let me get this all set up first. It's called Hey Oh. Okay? I'd like to leave on a positive, fun note, okay?
It was one of those days where everything goes wrong. My hair fell out, my heel broke off, I slept through my alarm. I missed the bus tonight, school, my stalker walked me home. I sprayed his face with mason, he left me all alone. Tonight, I'm gonna dance my stress away until the break of daylight. There's nothing I'd rather do. You may not wanna dance with me, but I wanna dance with you. A lot of my relationships, they end up in the ditch, so I'm getting
Good night, everybody. It's been a pleasure.